Let us give a round of applause to welcome Miss Dorville, the Deputy Principal of Academics.
Our own ADP student, Mr. Hansen Lee.
Mr. Hansen Lee, an actor, a host, an MC, and also our very own Segian alumni.
Thank you very much. Wow, this is strange because I'm usually that guy who's at the podium inviting speakers up to talk. So I'm not used to being in front of, I'm used to being in front of crowds, but I'm not used to like actually, giving the speech. I'm just like, hey, welcome, so-and-so, thank you, so-and-so. But yes, good morning. How's everyone feeling today? Yeah? It's Monday. I know, it's tough. Monday mornings are tough, it's rough. But we gotta do what we gotta do. So thank you very much, MC, for that great introduction. Yes, I have done quite a few things, as you can see. I call myself an actor, I host, I MC, I'm a fitness enthusiast, conversation enthusiast. What else? I like to travel. I do a bunch of different things, but it didn't really start that way. I first got into college doing computer engineering. Ha! Wow! What is he talking about? You don't look like no computer engineer. Trust me, I've spent days and nights in labs debugging programs, and it's tough. So engineering majors out there, I know what you're going through. But then when I came to Segi, I had to, I kind of found out that computer engineering wasn't really my thing. And I decided that a business marketing degree would probably make more sense for me moving forward. And so I pursued that. And whilst I was doing that, I had a job. I was working full-time as a personal trainer. So I got into fitness. And by getting into fitness, I then had the opportunity, I was scouted by some people. They said, hey, you're pretty fit, you're pretty tall. You want to do some modeling? And I was like, extra cash, why not? Okay, I didn't know, I wasn't aspiring to be a model, but I told myself, hey, why not, right? So I started doing that, and that led on to many things, and hence I have all these titles after that now. But what I really want to talk to you about today is living your passion. At least that's the theme, right? Now, the word passion, you hear it all the time now, but when I was growing up, no one used that word passion, So in modern day, passion, is such a common word these days that people use it all the time for good reason. But what is the real definition of the word? Can anyone tell me what is passion to you? Anyone? Oh, I love Malaysian crowds. So engaging. All right, Captain, please, on deck. I like his definition. Willing to suffer to achieve your dream. That's one way of putting it. Anyone else has an idea? Or what does passion mean to you? Maybe just to you. I just want your definition. Maybe someone from Segi this morning? A student? Somebody? No. Okay, anyway. Let's first look at the official definition. And it's official because I looked it up. It's any form of emotion, be it anger, joy, happiness, that causes a boundless amount of enthusiasm. That is passion. You can be passionately in love with someone. You could be passionately angry at someone and passionately hate someone. Not that I encourage you to do that, but it's within all of us. We all have the capability to be passionate. But what do you want to be passionate about? Now, you might go on asking, okay, but what's this passion thing I hear all these successful people talk about? What is that passion? Well, that passion has to do with living a certain way and focusing on a certain goal. Okay, I get it. Then you ask, how do I find my passion? You might be telling me that, oh, I like Facebooking. I like Instagramming, taking self pictures. Can that be a passion? Well, what if I told you yes? Okay, maybe not the selfie picture thing, lah. That one can't be passionate, lah. But I'll get into that a bit later on. But living your passion and actually having a passion is two very different things. Because to live your passion, it requires smarts, perseverance, and quite a bit of faith. Now, I personally am still on my journey right now. And, although I've experienced quite a lot of things, but I still have a long road to go. So I can only share with you today what I've learned along the way. And one of the first few things that I want to share about living your passion, or how to live your passion, is firstly, you have to be open-minded. Okay? You have to be open to new experiences. Now, why is it important? Because if you're open, you are giving yourself a chance to embrace new ideas, new activities that probably never crossed your mind before. But it might ignite something within you. You do not know. It's an unknown. You're exploring new territory. Now, the MC earlier mentioned that I was a radio DJ at Fly FM. Now, how I came about that job was, it was back in, I think, 2005, 2006. And Fly FM had just started. A new station, Fly Guy, taking on a whole new direction with how radio stations position themselves. And at that time, I was a personal trainer, full-time personal trainer, still going to school. And then I heard on radio, I was like, wow, this is a really cool radio station. Really, really cool. I really like it. I wonder if I can be a part of it, one way. And sure enough, they had this contest that they actually put on, their station, and said that we're looking for a new radio DJ to come on board. So they had this competition, and I joined. I didn't study, mass communications. I didn't, growing up, aspiring to be a radio DJ, but I just thought, hey, this is a really cool station, and I want to be a part of something cool. So I went for it. I gave it a try. And I went in with no expectations. I just told myself, in any case, it'll be a good experience. I get to see what it's like, to be in a radio station, to be behind a booth, behind a speaker, hang out with Fly Guy, So all those experiences, I kind of just looked at the positive and said, let's just go for the journey. And when I went on board, I guess they saw something in me, and they gave me a chance. So I won that contest, and that's kind of how my career in this industry kind of started. So what I'm saying, it is important that when you're presented with something, in life, no matter how far from your comfort zone it is, sometimes you might just want to step back and say, what do I have to lose? Be open. Now, you might be asking, how do I be open about it? Well, first and foremost, I think it is essential to hold no judgments whatsoever when you're being presented with something. Why is that essential? Because by doing that, you're actually allowing yourself to fully embrace the experience, be it a positive or a negative one. Because when you prejudge something, you actually will significantly alter the entire experience. Okay, that's my first point. My second point is to be inquisitive. Now, life, as you know, is a journey. And what would life be if a person stops learning? Wouldn't be much fun, would it? So, you see some of the most successful people today, if you ask them, why are they successful? They're not going to say that it's because they knew it all or they know everything, that's why they're successful. It's their thirst, their curiosity that really sets them apart. Because curiosity leads to inquisition. And when you go out and explore and find out things, that's when you acquire more knowledge, and that, in essence, translates to personal growth, and eventually, if you apply it well, success. Now, remember just now we were talking about Facebooking. How can Facebook transform into a passion? Well, this is where the being inquisitive comes in. Now, if you're interacting on social media all the time, and you love social media, don't you wonder sometimes, like, why does this banner always pop up here? Why does this ad always come up here? Why does this personality or this celebrity that I follow, or this public figure that I follow, post at this certain time or write, their post in a certain way? So all these things, they don't do it just cause. They have a reason for doing that. And there's a huge industry right now that every company out there wants to be on social media. They want to transfer their businesses, their movements, their marketing campaigns, everything onto the internet in the media world. And you're the generation that will be fully embracing that. I'm that generation that comes between. So by being inquisitive, you can actually, pursue that and learn about it, why the things are working behind social media. So there are whole industries of that, PR companies, ad companies, all of them, they want to know these things. They want you to be able to know these things. So there's a form of passion that can be translated into your work and become a success. And that's how you can live your passion, through that. Be inquisitive, very important. Now, information is an abundant today, So it's not about having access to information anymore. It used to be in the past, but now everyone has it on their handphone. So it's about asking the right questions, I believe. By asking the right questions, it's like having a very sharp sword that allows you to cut through the clutter of data that's around you all the time and get to the precise information that you want. And there's no better place to sharpen this knife, or otherwise your brain, than in college and in school. So this is a time that you should be asking all the questions that comes to your mind. And be brave, ask questions. Only by asking the right questions where you'll find the right answer. Now my third point is having a role model. I personally think this is very important because growing up, I had a lot of role models. When I was younger, in high school, I want to be like Michael Jordan, play basketball all day. And then when I was in college, I got into bodybuilding. I want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, big, muscular guy.
Trust me.
And now I want to be like, I don't know, a combination of Bono, Steve Jobs, and Tony Fernandez, But the funny thing is, I realized over time, when you have role models, it's not about becoming them. It's not about, I want to have that life or that exact same journey that this person had. But it's the qualities I realized that in the past that I was attracted to. The mental toughness, the not giving up, the focus, the drive, all those things you derive from your role model. Now, this role model doesn't have to be a public figure. It doesn't have to be someone famous. It could be your parents. It could be your brothers and sisters. It could be a friend or even your neighbor. But what you have to do is when you have someone you put on a pedestal, and I wouldn't say you worship them, but when you look up to these people, you tend to take on certain qualities from them. And slowly over time, as you grow and you move on to different phases in your life, you probably, like me, would have different role models. And I think it's important. Every phase you go through, you should have a role model. Because what happens is that when you derive these different values, you sort of embed it into your own set of systems of values and beliefs. And that will mold you to become the greatest potential of who you can be. So having a role model is important. Now the fourth point is, I believe you shouldn't walk any journey alone. If you have a certain passion for something and you find like maybe the people around you might not be very supportive or directly or indirectly holding you back, then maybe it's time to find a new crowd. I mean, you don't ditch them as friends or whatsoever, but you need to be in an environment that's supportive and positive, that is the way how you sustain your passion. Because by doing that, it allows you to be less intimidated by the everyday challenges that you face. And also you feel kind of safe, and whatever challenges you're going through, most likely these people who are sharing your pursuit will understand. And so, they can be compassionate about it. So if you feel like you're alone on this journey, guys, don't worry. There's definitely someone out there who is going through somewhat similar of what you're going through. You just have to get together, find these people, and create this network of support. My final point on how to live your passion is probably one of the most difficult one, at least for me, is to trust your instincts. I think for me, growing up, I used to be a really scrawny, tall kid. And I think it was also a little bit of the family background I come from. I had a lot of self-doubts, It's not that I wasn't confident, but I would somehow go against my instinct. And when I think I can do it, I come up with all these hundreds and hundreds of reasons why I can't do it, So whenever you catch yourself making up very intellectual excuses that sounds a lot like it, then most probably you're just making up all of it. You have a brain, you have a heart for a reason, I believe, is that your heart feels something and it will tell you stuff. And the brain is there to sort of process it and to keep it in check and balance. Now, in any scenario, if you use just only one of them, I think that's where the problem will begin. But if you actually use it in balance, that's actually the best. So we have a brain for that reason. The thought process is essential. But if you find yourself predicting all sorts of scenarios that hasn't even happened, then those sound a lot like excuses to me. So be brave. Sometimes you have to quiet down your mind, because the mind can be very noisy when you're faced with dilemmas and challenges. Quiet down your mind and think through what you know. And then ask yourself in your heart, and more than likely so, whatever your instincts are telling you, more than likely it is right. Steve Jobs, he said something very true. It's like, you can only connect the dots when you look back. So you have to trust yourself moving forward that the dots will connect. And I think that's very powerful, and that is a quote that really emphasizes on trusting your own instincts. It's difficult, I know, but it's something we have to strive for, and I work on it on a daily basis, so I think you should too as well. So those are the few things that I believe if you do, you can live your passion. Because living your passion isn't just about jumping out of bed every day and going like, yeah, man, I'm getting to do what I do. It's awesome. No, there'll be days that you don't want to wake up. You're dragging yourself to do what you want to do. Maybe you are faced with that problem that has been, clouding your mind, or has taken over your mind for the last week or so. But those are the moments that will separate you from the rest, because those are the moments where you have to take a step back and look at the big picture and think, well, you know what? The end goal is this, and that's why I'm putting myself through all these pain and suffering and uneasiness, being uncomfortable, because I know this is where I want to get to. That is living your passion. So I'm very fortunate that, up till now, my journey has allowed me to convert my passion into my work. I can make a living out of it. But a passion doesn't necessarily have to be something that you make money from, But what happens is that when you live your passion, your life is more fulfilling. You feel like there's more purpose. And you just overall have a better sense of outlook on life itself. So thank you for listening to what I've had to say. What I have to say. I hope you guys have, picked up a thing or two from that. I implore you to go out and explore new things, be curious, find like-minded people, and talk. Because it's usually through conversations, good mind-stimulating conversations, that a lot of times you discover passions, and especially with among friends and peers and good people. So thank you so much.
Mr. Hansen Lee.
Stay here. I'll be back.